right now, somewhere in the world. Someone is opening YouTube for the third time in 10 minutes. Someone is watching videos about a topic they don't even care about. Someone is building a tiny model ship. Someone is learning Japanese for absolutely no reason. Someone is collecting rocks. Someone is scrolling. Someone is playing guitar. Someone is painting. Someone is watching people restore rusty tools from 1934. Nobody forced them. Nobody is paying them. And none of these things are helping them survive. If all hobbies disappeared tomorrow, humanity would continue existing. People would still eat, still sleep, still go to work. So why do we do these things? Why do humans spend enormous amounts of time doing things that seem completely unnecessary? And more importantly, when did this start? What was the first human hobby? What was the first moment in history when somebody finished doing something important, looked around, and decided to do something that wasn't necessary? Because that moment might have changed everything. Imagine waking up 50,000 years ago. There are no phones, no books, no football, no movies, no internet, no music streaming, no hobby section, no weekend. You open your eyes. There is dirt, there is smoke, there is cold air. And somewhere nearby, someone is already awake. Your entire world is maybe 30 people. That's it. 30 people. No strangers, no celebrities. No online communities, no notifications. Just the same faces, every day. And at first, this sounds exhausting. You imagine ancient life as endless survival. Wake up, find food, don't die, repeat. But here's something surprising. That image might be wrong. One of the biggest myths about prehistoric humans is that they worked constantly. Modern hunter-gatherer groups suggest something different. Anthropologists studying groups such as the Hadza and San found that survival often didn't require endless labor. People gathered food, hunted, cooked, and then they stopped, which creates a strange problem: free time. And free time creates another question. What do humans do when they don't have to survive? That question might sound modern, but it's ancient. Because humans may have had hobbies for tens of thousands of years. And to understand the first hobby, we need to ask something uncomfortable. What even counts as a hobby? Because if we define hobbies too broadly, everything becomes a hobby. Sleeping isn't a hobby. Eating isn't a hobby. Working isn't a hobby. A hobby is different. A hobby is voluntary. You don't need to do it. You choose to do it. And somehow, that choice gives your brain a reward. Which means the first hobby wasn't the first useful activity. It was the first unnecessary activity. And that's weird, because evolution usually hates unnecessary things. Energy was precious. Ancient humans couldn't waste calories, so why would hobbies exist? To answer that, we have to go back, much further. Before cities, before farming, before writing, before history. Imagine evening. The hunt is over. The gathering is done. Food is cooking. Children are sitting nearby. Nobody needs to leave. Nobody needs to work. The fire is burning, and suddenly something appears. Time. Humans are sitting together with nothing urgent to do. That may have been one of the most important moments in our species. Because when survival pauses, curiosity begins, and that leads us to the first candidate: art. Around the world, archaeologists keep finding ancient human art, handprints, carved lines, pigments, decorated objects. Some are tens of thousands of years old. And the strange thing is, many seem unnecessary. Nobody survives longer because a cave wall looks nicer. Nobody catches more food because a stone has patterns. So why does I spend time doing this? Maybe because somebody wanted to. Imagine an ancient human. Everyone else is resting. This person picks up charcoal, looks at the wall, makes a line. Then another. Maybe someone laughs. Maybe someone copies them. And suddenly, something impossible appears. Creation, not survival. Expression. Nobody asked for it. Nobody needed it. But humans kept doing it, and they never stopped. Maybe the first hobby was drawing. But there's another candidate: storytelling. Imagine 30 people sitting around fire. No screens, no books, no distractions. Someone starts talking. At first, they describe the hunt. Then they exaggerate. The animal gets bigger. The danger gets more dramatic. People laugh. The story changes. The next night, they tell it again. Different details. More dramatic. And suddenly, people are spending time creating experiences that never happened. That sounds familiar. Because storytelling is strange. Stories don't physically exist. You cannot eat a story. You cannot wear a story. And yet humans built civilizations around them. Stories became myths. Myths became culture. Culture became identity. Maybe hobbies began the moment someone intentionally entertained other people. But there's another possibility. Play. Because play is older than humans. Young animals play constantly. Lions wrestle. Dogs chase nothing. Otters slide. Crows invent games. Play looks useless until you realize something. Play is practice, a safe simulation. Humans may have done the same. Throwing sticks, competing, making games, testing skills, laughing. Imagine ancient children inventing rules. Now imagine adults joining. Without realizing it, games are born. And games never left. Your mobile games, board games, sports. They might all trace back to humans doing unnecessary things around a fire. But maybe the weirdest candidate was collecting. Today people collect everything: cards, figures, coins, books, shoes. But archaeologists found ancient objects carried enormous distances: shells, interesting stones, decorative items. Things with no obvious survival purpose, which means somebody looked at a useless object and thought, I want this. That feeling may be ancient. Maybe one human found a shiny rock, carried it home, showed everyone, and accidentally invented collecting, which sounds ridiculous. Until you realize, people still do exactly that. And then there's music, possibly one of humanity's strangest hobbies. Music should not exist. It has no calories, no shelter, no obvious survival value, and yet every known human culture creates it. Even babies respond to rhythm, which suggests music is old, very old. Imagine sitting around fire, someone taps wood, someone joins, someone makes sound, then everyone synchronizes. No language needed, just rhythm. People feel connected, nobody planned it, but suddenly music exists, and maybe that changed humanity forever. Because hobbies do something survival alone cannot. They connect people. You remember who makes good stories. You trust people who laugh with you. You bond through shared experiences. That bond becomes cooperation, and cooperation became our superpower. Humans didn't become dominant because we were strongest. We became dominant because we could spend time doing things that looked useless, then accidentally turn them into culture. Think about it. Art became symbols. Symbols became writing. Stories became religion. Games became training. Music became community. Hobbies became civilization, which means hobbies may not be distractions from being human. They may be one of the most human things we do. So, what was the first human hobby? Nobody knows. Maybe drawing, maybe storytelling, maybe rhythm, maybe collecting strange rocks, maybe making people laugh, maybe simply sitting around a fire, trying things. But whatever it was, it probably started in a way that feels strangely familiar. One day, a human finished surviving, looked around, had nothing urgent to do, and thought, I wonder what happens if I do this. And that question may still be driving us today. Every hobby, every obsession, every strange little interest, every random skill, every unnecessary thing you love, might trace back to someone sitting near a fire with time to spare and deciding to do something completely pointless just because they wanted to.
I've been thinking about what you said, about the stars and where they go. Do you think they ever get lonely, just floating